The clock arrived in a plain wooden box, wrapped carefully in newspaper that smelled like dust and age. No note, no return address. Just my name, Elias Ward, written in shaky ink. I assumed it was from one of my clients. I restore antiques for a living. Clocks, gramophones, things most people forget still exist, but this one felt different the moment I touched it. It was a small mantel clock, brass and oak, carved with strange looping symbols around the face. The hands were frozen at 11:59. I wound it gently, set it on the counter, and waited for it to tick, but it didn't move. Not a sound. Then, just before midnight, it ticked once. Click, and the next morning, my neighbor across the street was dead. At first, I didn't connect the two. Heart attack, they said. Quiet man died in his sleep. But the timing stuck in my head. 11:59. The clock's single tick. 2 days later, I was repairing a watch in my shop when the clock ticked again, just once. I checked the time, 11:59, and the next morning I learned that Mrs. Green, the florist 2 doors down, had been found in her store. I stopped touching the clock after that. I covered it with a cloth and shoved it to the back shelf. But every few nights, right before midnight, I'd hear it tick, and someone would die. I stopped sleeping, stopped working. I started writing down every tick in a notebook. Tick, Janet Green. Florist, tick, Peter from the post office. Tick a child from the next block. Always 11:59. Always followed by death. I even tried moving it outside once, leaving it on the curb. But at 11:59, the sound came from inside the house. A week later, a woman came into my shop, tall, pale, wearing old-fashioned clothes that didn't fit the time. She looked around quietly, then said, "You have something that doesn't belong to you." I asked what she meant. She pointed at the shelf, straight to where the clock was hidden under the cloth. Her eyes didn't blink. "That clock was built to count the endings," she whispered. "It doesn't keep time. It keeps death." I wanted to throw it out, smash it, burn it, but she stopped me. "You can't destroy it," she said. "You can only trade it." "Trade it for what?" I asked. "For another name." That night, I didn't know what to do. If she was right, every tick meant someone's life ending. If I traded it, it would mean someone else's life for mine. I stared at the clock as it sat on my table, its brass face glinting in the light. 11:58. I thought of all the people it had taken, and then I thought of myself, alone, afraid, trapped. 11:59. Click. I waited, but nothing happened. No news, no deaths, nothing. For the first time, the clock ticked and nobody died. Or so I thought. The next morning, I woke to my phone ringing non-stop. It was my sister, sobbing. She said Dad had died suddenly during the night. I dropped the phone. The room spun. I ran to the clock. It was ticking now, steadily, every second. The hands moving forward for the first time, and carved into the wood beneath the face. Something new had appeared, letters burned into the grain. That night, I couldn't take my eyes off it. The ticking had become louder, faster. The hands spun past midnight, then stopped again. 11:59. And then it clicked once more. Just once, I looked at my reflection in the glass face. Behind me, for a split second, I saw dozens of shadowy figures, all the people the clock had claimed, standing still, watching, and I realized something. The clock didn't stop because someone died. It stopped to decide who's next. Some clocks don't measure time. They measure how much you have left.